King Solomon. His name echoes through time as both a legend and a warning. Crowned in the shadow of King David, he rose to power not with force, but with brilliance, renowned for a mind that seemed touched by the divine. His wisdom became the stuff of legend, none more famous than the tale of two mothers, one child, and a verdict that pierced to the soul of truth. In Solomon's hands, justice became art, and Israel flourished beneath his golden reign. A nation once fractured stood united, shimmering in wealth, culture, and power. At the heart of his empire stood the Temple of Jerusalem, a breathtaking monument to his ambition and devotion. It was more than a house of worship. It was a symbol of national identity, a crown jewel of his era. Under his rule, Israel entered its golden age, and Solomon was not just a king, he was a force. But beneath the splendor, shadows gathered. As years passed, the clarity of his vision dimmed. The same mind that once ruled with precision grew tangled in contradictions. Solomon, once the embodiment of divine wisdom, became entangled in political marriages and foreign idols. These unions, meant to secure alliances, began to unravel the soul of his kingdom. The man who once upheld God's truth now stood divided, torn between power, passion, and the very gods he once denounced. What began as a reign of light slowly faded into internal darkness. The king who once heard the voice of God now struggled with silence. His later years became a haunting reflection, a solitary ruler surrounded by gold, yet tormented by regret. What good is wisdom, he asked, when it cannot guard the heart? This transformation, from inspired monarch to disillusioned soul, sets the stage for a deeper reckoning. Solomon's fall wasn't sudden. It was a slow erosion, a whisper of compromise after compromise. And in that descent lies a powerful truth. As we journey through the rise and fall of King Solomon, we uncover timeless questions. What is the true cost of wisdom without obedience? Of wealth without purpose? And how does a man who touched the divine find himself so far from it in the end? Solomon's ascent to the throne of Israel is a remarkable story marked by divine favor and extraordinary achievements. Following the death of his father, King David, Solomon was chosen to succeed him, a decision that was both celebrated and scrutinized. Early in his reign, Solomon demonstrated a profound understanding of his responsibilities as king. Recognizing the enormity of the task ahead, he humbly approached God in a dream at Gibeon, asking not for wealth or long life, but for wisdom to govern his people effectively. This request deeply pleased God, who not only granted Solomon unparalleled wisdom, but also bestowed upon him riches and honor beyond measure. This divine favor set the stage for Solomon's remarkable accomplishments during his reign. One of the most famous stories illustrating Solomon's wisdom is the judgment of the two mothers, which has become a timeless parable of discernment. When two women came before him, each claiming to be the mother of the same baby, Solomon proposed to cut the child in half, revealing the true mother through her selfless reaction. This profound act of wisdom not only resolved the dispute, but also solidified Solomon's reputation as a fair and insightful ruler, earning him the admiration of his people and neighboring nations alike. Another significant milestone in Solomon's reign was the construction of the Temple in Jerusalem, a monumental project that symbolized the spiritual and political unity of Israel. This grand edifice, built to house the Ark of the Covenant, was not only a place of worship, but also a testament to Solomon's vision and dedication to God. The temple became a central hub for religious life and a symbol of national identity. reflecting the prosperity and stability of Solomon's rule. Through these key achievements, Solomon's reign was characterized by a blend of divine wisdom and human ambition, setting a high standard for future leaders. His legacy, rooted in his early successes and divine favor, continues to resonate, reminding us of the profound impact of wisdom in leadership. Solomon's wisdom was not only profound, but also far-reaching, attracting global attention and admiration during his reign. His reputation as a wise ruler spread beyond the borders of Israel, drawing visitors from distant lands, most notably the Queen of Sheba. Intrigued by the tales of his unparalleled wisdom and wealth, she traveled to Jerusalem to test him with challenging questions. The encounter between Solomon and the Queen highlighted not only his intellectual prowess, but also the cultural exchange that flourished under his rule. Impressed by his answers and the splendor of his court, the Queen returned to her homeland with gifts and a newfound respect for Solomon, further solidifying his status as a leader of remarkable insight and influence. In addition to his diplomatic engagements, Solomon made significant literary contributions that have endured through the ages. He is traditionally credited with authoring several biblical texts, including the Book of Proverbs, which encapsulates his wisdom in practical sayings and moral teachings. These proverbs continue to offer guidance and insight into human behavior and ethics. Furthermore, Solomon is believed to have composed the Song of Songs, a poetic celebration of love and beauty, showcasing his artistic talents and deep understanding of human emotions. These literary works not only reflect his wisdom, but also enrich the cultural and spiritual life of Israel, leaving a lasting legacy that resonates with readers to this day. The wealth and prosperity of Israel during Solomon's reign were unparalleled, creating a golden age for the nation. Under his leadership, trade flourished, and alliances were formed, leading to an influx of resources and luxury goods. The construction of grand structures, including the temple and palaces, symbolized this prosperity and served as a testament to Solomon's effective governance. The nation enjoyed peace and stability, allowing the arts and culture to thrive, further enhancing Israel's reputation as a center of wisdom and wealth. Solomon's wisdom, therefore, not only shaped his own legacy, but also transformed Israel into a beacon of prosperity and enlightenment in the ancient world, influencing generations to come. Despite King Solomon's remarkable achievements and the prosperity of his reign, he faced significant challenges stemming from his wealth and influence. One of the most notable aspects of his rule was the formation of alliances through foreign marriages. In an effort to strengthen political ties and secure peace with neighboring nations, Solomon married numerous foreign princesses, including those from Egypt and Moab. While these alliances initially appeared beneficial, they ultimately introduced complexities that would have lasting repercussions for Israel. The biblical narrative contains explicit warnings against intermarriage with foreign nations, particularly due to the potential for idolatry and the dilution of Israel's spiritual identity. Solomon, however, was drawn to the allure of these alliances, often prioritizing political expediency over the spiritual well-being of his people. As he married these foreign women, he allowed their customs and deities to infiltrate the nation, leading to a gradual erosion of the monotheistic faith that had been central to Israel's identity. The very alliances that were meant to fortify his kingdom instead became a source of spiritual compromise. As Solomon's reign progressed, the consequences of his choices became increasingly evident. The introduction of foreign gods and practices led many Israelites to stray from their devotion to Yahweh, resulting in a spiritual decline that undermined the unity and moral fabric of the nation. Solomon himself, once celebrated for his wisdom, began to succumb to the influences of his foreign wives, building high places for their gods and participating in rituals that contradicted the covenant established with Israel. This shift not only alienated him from God, but also set a troubling precedent for future generations. The spiritual decline during Solomon's later years serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of wealth and influence when not grounded in faith and integrity. His initial wisdom and prosperity were overshadowed by the consequences of his decisions, leading to a divided heart and a fractured nation. Ultimately, the challenges Solomon faced due to his wealth and influence highlight the delicate balance between power and spiritual fidelity, reminding us of the importance of remaining steadfast in one's values amidst external pressures. The consequences of King Solomon's disobedience to God were profound and far-reaching, ultimately leading to the unraveling of the kingdom he had built. One of the most significant manifestations of his disobedience was the construction of high places for foreign gods. Influenced by his foreign wives, Solomon erected altars and shrines dedicated to deities such as Ashtoreth and Moloch, allowing idol worship to take root in Israel. These high places became centers of pagan worship, directly contradicting the commandments given to the Israelites to worship Yahweh alone. This shift not only compromised the spiritual integrity of the nation, but also sowed the seeds of division among the people. God, in his faithfulness, issued warnings to Solomon regarding the dangers of idolatry and the consequences of turning away from him. Despite these divine admonitions, Solomon's heart became hardened. The allure of wealth, power, and the influence of his foreign wives led him to dismiss the gravity of his actions. Instead of repenting and returning to the covenant established with God, Solomon continued to indulge in practices that were contrary to the faith of his ancestors. This hardened heart ultimately distanced him from God, leading to a spiritual decline that would have dire implications for the future of Israel. As a result of Solomon's disobedience, God delivered a prophecy concerning the division of the kingdom. In 1 Kings 11, God revealed to Solomon that because of his unfaithfulness, the kingdom would be torn from him and given to his servant. This prophecy foreshadowed the eventual split of Israel into two separate kingdoms: the northern kingdom of Israel and the southern kingdom of Judah. The division not only weakened the nation politically, but also led to further spiritual decline, as each kingdom struggled with its own identity and fidelity to God. And the consequences of Solomon's actions serve as a poignant reminder of the importance of obedience to divine guidance. His initial wisdom and achievements were overshadowed by the repercussions of his choices, illustrating how disobedience can lead to the disintegration of even the most prosperous reign. Ultimately, Solomon's legacy became a cautionary tale about the dangers of straying from faith and the profound impact of one's decisions on future generations. In the twilight of his life, King Solomon's reflections, particularly as captured in the book of Ecclesiastes, reveal a profound sense of introspection and realization. Throughout his reign, Solomon experienced unparalleled wealth, wisdom, and power. Yet as he looked back on his achievements, he grappled with a deep sense of emptiness. The opening lines of Ecclesiastes poignantly express his sentiments. Vanity of vanities, all is vanity. This declaration encapsulates his struggle to find lasting meaning in a life filled with material success and worldly pleasures. Despite the grandeur of his accomplishments, including the construction of the magnificent temple and the establishment of a prosperous kingdom, Solomon felt a pervasive sense of dissatisfaction. He had indulged in every conceivable pleasure, from wealth and fine foods to wisdom and knowledge. Yet none of these pursuits provided the fulfillment he sought. His reflections reveal a stark contrast between the external accolades of his reign and the internal void he experienced. Solomon's journey through life led him to the realization that earthly achievements and desires ultimately lack permanence and significance. As he contemplated the futility of chasing worldly desires, Solomon imparted valuable lessons about the nature of life and the pursuit of happiness. He recognized that the relentless quest for wealth, status, and pleasure often leads to disillusionment. In Ecclesiastes, he emphasizes the importance of enjoying the simple pleasures of life, such as companionship, work, and the beauty of creation, rather than becoming ensnared in the endless cycle of desire. He advocates for a life grounded in gratitude and mindfulness, urging readers to appreciate the present moment, rather than constantly striving for more. Ultimately, Solomon's final days were marked by a profound understanding of the limitations of human ambition. His reflections serve as a timeless reminder that true fulfillment lies not in the accumulation of wealth or achievements, but in the pursuit of wisdom, meaningful relationships, and a connection to the divine. Through his journey, Solomon invites us to consider the deeper questions of existence and the importance of aligning our lives with values that transcend the fleeting nature of worldly pursuits. The story of King Solomon offers profound insights and key takeaways that resonate across generations, emphasizing the importance of staying true to God. Solomon began his reign with a deep commitment to divine wisdom, seeking guidance from God to lead his people effectively. However, as his wealth and power grew, he gradually strayed from that initial devotion. This shift serves as a powerful reminder that maintaining a steadfast relationship with God is essential, especially in times of success. Solomon's journey illustrates that even the wisest among us can falter when we allow distractions and temptations to take precedence over our spiritual commitments. Another critical lesson from Solomon's life is the inherent dangers of pride and temptation. As he amassed wealth and influence, Solomon's heart became hardened, leading him to make choices that contradicted his earlier values. His alliances through foreign marriages and the construction of high places for idol worship exemplify how pride can cloud judgment and lead to moral compromise. The allure of power and the desire to please others can divert even the most faithful from their core beliefs. Solomon's experiences remind us to remain vigilant against the subtle temptations that can arise when we achieve success, urging us to cultivate humility and discernment in our decisions. Moreover, Solomon's story encourages viewers to reflect on their own lives in light of his experiences. Each of us faces choices that can either strengthen or weaken our spiritual foundations. By examining our priorities and the influences that shape our decisions, we can learn from Solomon's mistakes and strive to align our lives with values that promote integrity and faithfulness. It is essential to ask ourselves whether we are pursuing worldly desires at the expense of our spiritual well-being. Ultimately, Solomon's life serves as a cautionary tale about the complexities of human experience, illustrating that true fulfillment comes not from wealth or power, but from a genuine relationship with God. By staying true to our faith, recognizing the dangers of pride, and reflecting on our choices, we can navigate our own journeys with wisdom and purpose, ensuring that we remain anchored in what truly matters. As we reflect on the journey of King Solomon, we see a compelling narrative that transitions from wisdom to regret. Solomon began his reign as a beacon of insight and understanding, renowned for his unparalleled wisdom and the prosperity he brought to Israel. His early years were marked by a deep commitment to God, as he sought divine guidance to lead his people effectively. However, as time passed, the allure of wealth, power, and foreign influences led him astray. Solomon's construction of high places for idol worship and his indulgence in worldly desires ultimately resulted in a profound sense of emptiness and spiritual decline. His story serves as a poignant reminder of the importance of staying true to one's faith and the dangers of pride and temptation that can accompany success. In summarizing Solomon's journey, we are reminded that even the wisest among us can falter when we lose sight of our core values. His experiences encourage us to reflect on our own lives, urging us to prioritize our spiritual commitments and remain vigilant against distractions that may lead us away from our true purpose. We invite you to engage with this content further. If you found value in this exploration of Solomon's life and the lessons it imparts, please consider subscribing to our channel. Your support helps us continue to share insightful biblical lessons and reflections. Don't forget to like this video and share it with friends and family who may also benefit from these teachings. Additionally, we encourage you to explore more of our content related to biblical lessons and stories. There is a wealth of knowledge and inspiration to be found in the scriptures, and we are dedicated to bringing these insights to you. Join us on this journey of discovery as we delve deeper into the wisdom of the Bible and uncover the timeless lessons that can guide us in our daily lives. Thank you for being part of our community. We look forward to sharing more enriching content with you soon.